So a little description about so the Everest Base Camp trek and what makes it so incredible. And I mean, if you can't see it right now, I'm surrounded by some of the highest mountains in the world. Everywhere you look, it's above 7,000, above 6,000, and then of course, finally you've got above 8,000. And on the Everest Base Camp trek, you get to see Mount Everest, you get to see Lhotse. These are two 8,000 meter mountains, and they are incredible. And that's in addition to Amadablam. I'm currently at the Amadablam Base Camp, and that's another incredible mountain. I mean, this is one of the most spectacular treks in the world, something that I think everybody needs to see once in their lives. The trek starts in Lukla. Lukla is home to the Tenzing and Hillary airport. It's such a beautiful place. When you arrive, you immediately feel the difference between Kathmandu and the Khumbu region. It's a magical place. You have Buddhist prayer flags all over the place. You've got yaks walking in the market street. Such a beautiful place, and the people are just so welcoming, so interested in why you're there. And then from there, you start to make your way up towards the first stop on the trail, and that is Phakding. The first part of the trail is actually going down, and you can tell that you're in quite a rich area, relatively speaking. You've got kids running to school, you've got very well paved trails, you've got coffee shops along the trail. There's one that I really recommend. You have to try the apple pie. It's spectacular. And as we start to walk, we start to pass some of those famous suspension bridges, and we reach Phakding, which is a beautiful town right on the river, surrounded by alpine trees. Is a huge contrast to where we will eventually be, which is Everest Base Camp. Second day on the trail is arguably one of the more challenging ones as we make our way up to Namche Bazaar, starting at 2,400 meters, which is Phakding, and making our way up to roughly 3,400 meters, depending on where you are in Namche, because it sits on a slope. The trek starts, of course, through the rainforest. We follow the river. It's a beautiful, beautiful trek. You've got these incredible trees, and eventually we reach Monjo, where we have a quick check of the trekking permits. And then from there, you start to make your way up through the forest, and you can start to immediately feel that you're in a different area. It's not, you're not in Phakding anymore, you're not in Lukla anymore. Those high trees are not there anymore. And the trees start to slowly disappear as you get closer and closer to Namche. The trek up to Namche, you pass the famous Hillary Tenzing Bridge, which is a suspension bridge that's super high up. It's amazing to look at. It's so much fun to kind of just stop there and look down. Important also to just make sure that all the caravans of yaks and donkeys have passed before you actually cross the bridge, because that can be a little bit dangerous. But of course, if you're there, people will tell you what to do. And if there's something dangerous, most of the time people will be very generous with information. Just be like, hey, stop for a second. let the caravans of yaks pass. And then finally, as the tree line starts to disappear, you start to arrive to Namche. And Namche is a gem of a place in the Khumbu region. In Nepal in general, it's one of those places that people will always remember. It's got the highest Irish pub in the world, at least that's what they claim. It's got market streets. You can find stores that are like brand stores for adventure gear that some of the places you can't even find in Kathmandu. And you have coffee shops, you've got restaurants, you've got all kinds of things, and people going everywhere. I think the coolest thing about Namche is that you get to meet people. Maybe they've just come down from climbing something big, or they're heading somewhere interesting. And so I think the biggest charm of Namche is just this crossroads of everything happening in this region. And so you meet all these incredible people who are talking about what they've done, talking about what they plan to do. I mean, I'm heading down to Namche tomorrow. I've just been in Amadablam, and it's just a fun place to exchange stories. I think that's the best part about it, because every trail in this region passes through Namche. Normally we spend 2 nights in Namche, and one of the days we trek up to the Everest View Hotel. That's the first time that people get to see the whole expanse of the region. You get to see Amadablam, Lhotse, Everest, hopefully if the weather is nice, of course. And you get to see the trail for the next 2 days ahead of you. And that's really beautiful. So once we leave Namche, you can start to see that things become more remote. You start to move away from better infrastructure, if you like, and you start to realize that, hey, we're actually heading up into the high mountains. The day that we leave Namche is one of the most beautiful treks that we do throughout the entire full trek of Everest Base Camp. You see Everest right at the end of the valley. We've got Lhotse that's just in front of it, and we're passing all these beautiful stupas on the way. Amadablam, of course, to your right. And we also get to drop a little bit back into the tree line towards the riverbed before climbing up to the Tengboche Monastery, which is not far from where I'm speaking right now. And it has some of the most beautiful cultural heritage in the entire region. Of course, the monastery itself is so incredibly beautiful, and I highly recommend that you sit for the ceremony when you're there and just observe how beautiful the entire the place is. And I feel it really does give that different element. It takes it from just being this trek and this challenge to more of this spiritual, soulful experience that I think a lot of us really crave. From Tengboche, we head up to Dingboche, and Dingboche it used to be just a place where people would herd their yaks, and now it's become more and more developed because it's a place that all trekkers spend around 2 nights, or typically do spend 2 nights in, and so the tea houses there have developed, coffee shops have kind of started to pop up as well, and Cafe Himalaya is one of the recommended ones. I have to say, beautiful place and beautiful people. We normally do 2 nights there. We trek up to a little hill on one of the days just to acclimatize. It's a great place to just take pictures. You've got another view of Amadablam that's right there. You can see Lhotse, you can see Island Peak, which is a famous climb that a lot of people do, and most people can add that onto their trek as well. And then from Dingboche, we start to walk over the north side of Tengboche, which is actually the mountain right behind me there. So these mountains will be on your left side. On your right side, you have the high pass, which is very beautiful as we make our way towards Lobuche. We do pass the Lukla pass. This is always, at least for me, it's a little bit emotional because I'm a climber, and this is where you have the shrines to the fallen Everest climbers. It's an emotional place, it's a powerful place, and it's also a reminder that these places are you know, they are beautiful. Yeah, they have their they have their power. And then finally we get to Lobuche. Lobuche is actually not even a village, it's just a set of tea houses that are purpose-built for trekkers and climbers. Here, it's your first night sleeping close to 5,000, so it's between 4,900 and 5,000 meters high, and that's something. So you can immediately, like, this is the first night where you go, okay, this is not a, you know, tea house family-run place. This is more of a, like, trekkers are getting ready to go and climbers are getting ready to go, and it's a little bit more of a, and it's very cold outside as well. But I highly recommend taking a walk to the glacier moraine, and you can see the end of the Khumbu glacier that starts on Mount Everest. So it really has a special part that I highly recommend taking advantage of wherever you are, to just take a little walk, go have a look at what's going on, because it's like there are so many beautiful hidden gems around. Next day is off to Everest Base Camp. Normally we start quite early. We stop in Gorakshep, which is a little tea house area. It takes about 2 hours to get to Gorakshep. We have something to eat, and then we continue on to Everest Base Camp. From there, it takes around 3 hours, more or less, making the entire one direction trek around 4 to 5 hours in total. The trail starts on a relatively flat area. Then eventually we start to walk on the moraine of the glacier, and sometimes we actually walk on the glacier itself, but of course in an area that's where there are no crevasses and no need for technical gear. Finally, the last part to reach Everest Base Camp is we're walking directly on the moraine of the Khumbu Glacier, and you can already see the tents of Everest Base Camp right in front of you. That's in the April season, spring season. If you're going in the fall season, there won't be a base camp, or there won't be a big base camp there, because most people won't be climbing around that time, but still the trek is as beautiful, and you have the added benefit of no crowds, which is great. Way back depends entirely on the itinerary. Some people go back to Gorakshep, some people go back to Lobuche, some people sleep in Everest Base Camp. But before I leave you, I want to make one recommendation. Go to Patthar. It's a little summit just above Gorakshep. It's a must-see because that's where you really get the beautiful views of Mount Everest. And most important of all, I would say, try to go in the evening. So try to catch the sunset rather than the sunrise, because from where we are, we're on the south side of Mount Everest. So the sun rises behind Mount Everest and you don't really get to see it in beautiful colors. But when the sun is setting, you get this incredible coloration on the face of all the mountains actually. So the Everest, Lhotse, Nutsi, but then also you have the other beautiful mountains as well next to you. Pomori, Lobuche behind you. You can look out and see over to Amadablam as well. It's so incredible. So that's it for me. Hope this helped, and hope to catch you on the trails.